Weird science
is the revolution.
Three stories that we're telling during the Joker Year One. You have the origins of the Joker, like being trained by a former mentor of Batman to have the Zura and R kind of things to give you the three Jokers, even though it should be four, the way they described it here. You had Gordon taking down the corrupt cops who were part of the Red Hood gang, and you had the future story with the Joker apocalypse going on. And it's like, okay, we needed more of the Joker Year One bit, and they really started going heavy on the future stuff. And I'm like, it's a little too much for me. And this issue, it's like, all right, let's watch Gordon take down the corrupt cops who are part of the Red Hood gang. And somehow we have to tie all this together for the finale right now. And it does not really feel like it does anything.
No. And there's a couple things that bother me. First off, it might bother people that Chip Zdarsky at the beginning, it seemed like, okay, why are we doing this Year One? Well, what would we be doing? Well, he wants to tie it into his, Batman the Knight. And then to tie it into Zora and R, fail-safe stuff. He didn't really do that then. So people were, like I said, like, why is he so pretentious, make it his own? But at least that would have continued on his book, but it might still tie in. But even so, it didn't do that. The things with Gordon in this issue, and I'll give you the credits after this. The thing with Gordon, I've seen this. Anytime you go back in time in Gotham and have... We even had it in the Joker deal. We had it recently.
Even the idea of Year One going up against
Year
the
One was all of it.
First gets to Gotham and stuff like that. And now we have to do a combined idea of not only are we doing Alan Moore's Killing Joke origin of the Joker, we're tying it into Snyder's 0 year bit that we had with Batman, and also we have all this stuff with Frank Miller's Year One with the ideas thrown together, and it just makes a mess of things in my mind.
And I was just going to say it, and that's a perfect way to say it, because usually when somebody does this, they've worked it out enough where you end up going, okay, well, maybe I didn't think I needed to tie Alan Moore stuff with Scott Snyder, with Frank Miller, but you know what? You figured out a cool way that it works. And oh my God, and then you added your little, it's not that clever. There's nothing going on. It's a mess. It is
and
almost
especially by the end, one of our big mysteries that we're working towards is the future apocalypse story. Pretty much felt like 30 years from now, the final confrontation, Joker's last laugh, essentially, when he takes over the world with a, Jokerized thing that affects you through the hearing and stuff. You have this going on. Batman desperately needs to figure out how to stop this and finally end the Joker once and for all, or die trying himself. And that only has the idea. It's like, and in this, he's going to give you little clues to the mystery of something that happened in Joker Year One, but it doesn't matter because it's 30 years from now in a hyper time scenario that nobody will ever reference again.
And it's not even that clever again. And the weird thing is, maybe these years have been hard on Selina. I almost got the idea because they ended up sending...
Looks beautiful. You're out of your mind.
They ended up sending McCloud to jail for 10 years. And you would assume that when he got, maybe the experimentations that were done on him, but it seems like it's not even that far, but because of the, things going on, it did seem more distant. Then I'm thinking, oh man, we heard about Duke. I want to say, you just kind of wiped that clear. The light's back. I'm like, what? Did they go and just flip the switch? It's Batman 144. I did have a theory though, because I've been talking in the Slack a lot about the synergy of books ending, and not books ending, but creative teams ending. So I sat there, I'm like, Ram V mentioned he's going to this number. That ends in September. Oh my God, look at this. Tom King said that the Penguin, that's getting close. And also, who is the other one? There's somebody recently that also, the Nightwing with Tom Taylor. That's September. So then my whole thing of that was not working because I said, you know what? The Batman's not going to end until December, November. Oh, wait, these 3 in a row weekly? Now ends in September. I'm like, holy shit, I think that maybe I'm onto something, because I think that maybe they just said, you got to do something for 3 issues to get this in line for the book to get to 150. Else, and it's 150 then. And that you would think that that's the big, you want to get to that if you're going to do it. So it's very odd. Joker Year One. Here we go. And it is Batman 144, written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Giuseppe Camuncoli, Andrea Sorrentino, Stefano Nessi, Adriano Sorrentino, again on the inks, Alejandro Sanchez, Dave Stewart, Clayton Coles. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of people were giving Andrea Sorrentino, who I used to like, I guess. I don't know. Would you get mad if you found out that somebody was a tracer?
So again, you say the idea of tracing. And I don't want anybody to trace, but when you take inspiration from actual live action Batman and try to make your artwork look like that, I think that people would appreciate that personally.
Well, what they are saying, it's not quite tracing, but this is what I hear. That he might have said it or somebody said it is run through an AI filter. I love the AI. So
I know you do. Other people do not.
I am one of those people with that sort of thing. I just say if it's available, fuck it, do it. But if you're already a great artist, it kind of is weird. But yeah, I think that maybe they're just going, maybe it's just too good. And maybe that's the play.
Bunch of haters. That's what it is.
I think it looks, and it definitely looks different. When you get in the future, it looks darker, it looks more realistic. So I think it plays out pretty well in that. And then when you get like individual things, when you have those bats going around with Batman and nonsense, when you see that, it really does. Okay, there's Andrea Sorrentino, the art I know and love. You hate it. You were never a fan of his art. That's fine. That's fine. Everybody likes different things.
You say that, but I like the way he portrays all this stuff in this. So I don't know.
You didn't like that Green Arrow.
I did not.
Tell you that. I loved it.
Didn't like the story either, but everyone loved it.
So I'd like to go back and see how this works out, because I really hope, because when we get into this issue, you start out in the future, which is the thing we didn't want to see. And they're like, but then I didn't even realize at that point, like, let's go back to the future when it's all Gordon, because we do see that at the farthest part of the time in the future, the idea of all of the Bat family, they're infected. Batman's running for his life. He's
almost the Omega Man at this point.
Yeah, and I guess because you want to have the aesthetic, you end up saying that deal with Duke he's almost a prop. He's never it's just, he's sucking in the light so it's dark, just so you can make it look horrific. That's the only, you couldn't just have this happen at night, but there you go.
I would have liked to see it.
Yeah. So I wanted to have it where, at this point, how are they going to help Duke? I really thought there was going to be a personal deal where he goes and helps him, but no.
You know how they help Duke? You get some bats around him, he's cured.
Yeah, the bats. Did you think the bats were going to try to hump his leg at first?
I don't know why I would think that.
Well, because of the Batman and Robin. They already got a taste for him back in the past, and now in the future they want to get it some more, right? These are the things that happen when I'm tired. But you end up where you don't really get it. Most of the stuff in the future, you get bats up, and you're like, most of the stuff in the future is kind of like, well, it doesn't matter. Like you said, it really doesn't.
What's the thing is, the whole point of the future bit is to find out the clues that the Joker's leaving behind and trying to tie it into year one somehow that we have going on, where it's like, Joker's leaving me clues. Here's a capsule, but when you break the capsule in half, you have what looks like 2 Red Hoods. What could that mean? Oh my God, you have a cop's ring from a certain era that disintegrates when I try to take it off and examine it. What does that mean? Ultimately, it just means that McCloud, who was the commissioner at this point in time, he was the second in charge of the Red Hood gang, the new leader after the Joker became the Joker, and he is the catalyst that the Joker eventually would use for his apocalypse in the future once he got out of prison. That's your mystery. And I just sit in the back here like, you started the story off with the idea that this Red Mask character from another universe went through the multiverse, created all the Jokers that we have, and for some reason in our universe that we're dealing with, he triplicated it. We had 3 Jokers, who then the Joker killed 2 of them, leaving us 1 Joker. But then he met one of Bruce's mentors, where he put on 3 new personalities. And I'm like, well, that would be 4 fucking Jokers. What is the point of any of the clues you're leaving here, and where are you taking me on this road?
Dr. Capdio, when you do that, you don't have to be coy about this. Like, he's kind of like a little bit of like, well, yeah, but the idea that we're going forward, and I want to know more about like what that means and how this works and how this is going to tie into the Zur-En-Arrh stuff. And is this a play?
He's got mental things like Batman now. That's it.
I'm telling you, but he says it runs. He's just like, hey, get this.
Because even the idea, our whole thing in our year 1 story is Batman is holding a gala right now at Wayne Manor, hoping to bring in the Red Hood gang, use all the billionaires in that freaking place as bait. Hopefully that's not the case, like he can save everybody, but he needs the Red Hood gang taken down. He thinks that this will draw him in, but ultimately they are going after the GCPD with all these drugs that they just seized. But the Joker's also at the GCPD trying to kill as many people as he can, mostly the Red Hood gang that, he used to be a part of. And it's just like, okay, then Batman's not there. He has to make his way there while the Joker just kills people in the GCPD. That is your main year 1 part of the story.
And then we get Hot Mike. You end up having them, hey, and McCloud's there. Nobody knows that I'm this and that. And he's like,
I'm going to kill you, Gordon, and nobody's ever going to know that I'm the leader of the Red Hood gang. Well, I have this Hot Mike over. You son of a bitch. I'm going to kill you.
He's like, yeah, get this, Gordon. I turned off all the surveillance cameras. And Gordon's like, well, I turned them back on. Oh, shit, you got me. And when you have that, like, the thing that makes me laugh is that kind of is where the, gotcha moment. But then in the future, where we have like you said, Batman is going, he has a ring, it's disintegrating. That means that the commissioners, they're not commissioner that long. He says in that, well, the Joker, he's not really fancy with his play. He's not the Riddler, so I can figure this out. But I'm like, you're not really figuring things out. You're just telling us, especially when the Joker just hands the bag. Here, have the bag. And he opens it up. Oh, this is just it looks like one of those devices that would be in a doll.
That's the thing. It's, as he calls it, the German toy known as the laughing bag, which is just the bag that Jack Nicholson had on him at the end of the Batman 89 movie. Here's a ha-ha laughing bag that has the ha-ha-ha inside of it. And the ha-ha-ha, the sonics that this thing emits, draws all the bats. And when the bats do is they get there and they cure the people of the Joker, like intoxication the Joker's done throughout the world. So now the idea is, what combats the Joker? Well, a bat does. There is your finale to your Joker and Batman story.
If you were hoping to get any detective work, I mean, Batman just pulls it out and he's like, oh, I don't hear anything. Ooh, that's it. I don't hear anything.
Even the idea of the clues. Joker tells him everything for the most part, it seems like, and hands him the answer to the antidote to everything that we have. So the Joker just gives up pretty much by then. He just wanted to test Batman, did what he wanted, like, here you go, Bruce, fix my mistakes.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, at the end, I don't mind, like, something that goes for it. Like, it's trying, and at the end, it doesn't quite get there. And you're like, well, at least you get an E for effort. I mean, you really tried. In this, it almost feels like at the end, Chip Zdarsky's like, hey, everybody, really didn't have shit to say or do, so here you go, and I'm out. It's just so weird, because even back in the deal, and I was waiting, and like you said, there's a bunch of little wink-winks. I mean, it's more wink-winking going on in this deal than anything else. He's trying to say, oh, look at this. This looks like the Killing Joke. Oh, look at this. This is from Batman 89. But you're not doing anything with them, and I kept waiting for this eureka moment of, oh my God, that's cool. Like that worked. And
something to tie in the loose threads that we had going on in the previous issues. It's just, we're done with those and we're moving on essentially in a weird direction that ultimately doesn't matter, because even after Joker, terrorizes the GCPD, it's Gordon who takes everybody down. Everybody gets arrested and you have the future story. But once he's done doing this, you see a few little bits of him. Oh, I perfected my Joker toxin, a year one story, and I didn't have enough antidote for the rest of your crew, but I got you. And this is the guy I tested out on. You remember Red Hood number 22? He's a good guy, but he had to die. And now you have to die. And now, if you remember from the previous issue, I got into a fight with a bunch of people at the bar. I'm going to go back to that bar and kill them now. Joker!
Joker, everybody! Joker! It's almost like Wally later. Wally! You end up where this stuff going on, it's so weird. It's so weird. Like, this going, and you have even McCloud, it starts out, he's there, oh my God, all this shit's happening.
I at least wanted something clever with the idea of the realization and the creation of the Joker toxin or something, but no, I just did it, and it works.
And I thought what was good, like afterwards, I thought back and I'm like, well, why didn't he say, like, McCloud's there and McCloud gets the antidote? Hey, I didn't have any, but it wasn't an antidote. He actually, that was the start of him working on things, and he kind of checked, but it wasn't. It was it was nothing. And I also like the idea that McCloud says, hey, the cameras are off. We're just going to waltz in here on Monday like they ain't nobody's business. Ain't no thing with the chicken wang. We're going to come in. But he already opened up a thing that says Batman knows what he's doing. He knows everything. And whether or not that's him or that's twisted and that was the Joker, I don't know.
No, I want to say that Batman left in the note the idea that we know you're behind us, but also it's a mass vigilante who dressed up like a bat. Who gives a shit what he thinks?
But him coming back in, this isn't like he's saying I'll have no problem. You still have a Batman problem then.
Also, it's a Batman problem, but at this point in time, he thinks he's about to give the killing blow to Jim Gordon, and all his problems in the GCPD will be solved. So he's got to talk big at this point in time.
I know that. I thought you were going to say that because even then, Batman, he knows the connection. He would be oh my God, and we're going to get rid of Gordon, but that Batman knows this.
I think I'm afraid of the Dracula's Gordon.
And he's like, I'm not. It's so funny. When he's looking at it, there's the picture of Batman behind him. Oh, look at this guy. Look at the Draculas. I ain't no afraid of him. They call me the Batmans. But yeah, you have this. We see it all the time. Anytime there's nothing clever about Gordon showing up at the GCPD, saying, you guys are all a bunch of assholes, then them saying back, you but watch yourself, Gordon, we're going to take you down. No, you won't. Yes, we will. And that's what we always get. There was nothing different or clever in this.
Gordon took down Flash, and then Gordon took down McCloud.
I mean, is there anything in, like, I guess he says, hey, we're going to go out to the bullpen here so I can kick your ass in front of everybody. It's nothing.
Again.
So you did have that clown say, hey, I was at a kid's party and the kid bit me because he wanted to see if I taste funny. I'm like, there you go.
Great
Eric
joke.
got his joke. He finally got his joke. I'll give Chip Zdarsky that credit. That's an old joke, but it still works. But also, when they come in, it's like, okay, come on, sit down. And he's like, sit down. I'm more of a stand-up. I'm like, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good Joker joke. That was pretty cool. And then you see, the bombs going off. And it's a weird one to talk about because we actually already talked about everything. It's just
where
not
you have
good.
The Joker in disguise is just a birthday clown wanting to have assault charges raised on a child who bit him to see if he tasted funny. He's holding balloons and stuff like that. He's in disguise. And the balloons, they go off and explode. Like, oh my God, what was that? It's an explosion above us. What's above us? The armory. And the Joker's, I'm like, did those balloons go up, blow up a hole, and then weapons fell down? Is that what happened?
I don't think so. I don't know. There actually, you say, there were a couple progressions that I thought were a little off. Like, I couldn't quite get it. But again, you're going to have even like a Dark Knight kind of play a bit with the devil. There's just everything seems to want to say, hey, remember that. Not even that good a thing is like that. It's like, okay, I could see he's kind of doing that, but it was weird. It was
even the
odd.
idea when we get to the future, because we've already seen the Jokerized Bat family who get put out in the streets. He's hoping that they don't hurt anybody. And when it's the end game between him and the Joker, you see Jason Todd show up in a Red Hood / Batman looking uniform in the future. It's like, Jason Todd, my greatest failure, my son. But you know what? The Joker killed you. Like, yes, you hit all the points on Jason Todd. You could have even just said crowbar for no damn reason and just thrown that in.
Did. He's like, Jason Todd, my biggest failure, my son, Joker killed you. By the way, crowbar. And then just walks away.
You have him say these things. He just, sedates Jason. He goes out. That's all you have for Jason Todd. That's it. I don't even know why he needed to be here.
Yeah, well, just to get that generic thing. And I think that what you have, it's a little removed, but Chip Zdarsky did that, urban legends, Jason Todd story. Is this supposed to be like, we finally ended it, Eric. The story is over, finally there. For some reason, when you were saying the crowbar, I was going to make a really crazy joke about a bar that Edgar Allan Poe, and I'm like, oh, that's the Raven.
That's a Raven.
That doesn't make sense, but I wanted the crowbar. Okay, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Maybe it's the bar that Brandon Lee hangs out in, R.I.P.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's shooting blanks all the time.
Stop it.
Man.
See, you took it too far.
He was pretty good, that Brandon Lee. The Crow. I didn't like. I was one of the only people I didn't like the Crow. I was like, man, this is a little too. I thought it was a little too dark here. I mean, I'm talking like visually. Like I was watching, like I can't see shit. Like there, and why Sting in this?
Edgy mid to early '90s, Jim. That's what everybody wanted.
I meant Sting for the Police, Eric. I thought he was there. I thought it was a Constantine movie. You end up where all this going down again. Like we said, that we talked about it. And Gordon fights. That lasts for a while. Hot mic of the security camera deal, but we never will fight. We don't know anything about that. We know he got arrested. Then we go, the weird bookend of those assholes in the bar. And you just had the one like, put on the game. And now we got to watch the news. I'm like, I kept thinking to myself at first, like, who are these? Like, are they? Oh, those are those guys from before. And then Joker even shows up in a Rorschach type of deal. I expected him to say, you guys are now trapped in here with me when he locked the door. Like,
why
really?
not?
Like, why not? Really? I mean, probably. I do think, too, that Gordon's, I hope he has good dental insurance because McCloud activated his dental plan. At one point, it looks like he's losing a tooth, but it's going the wrong way. But he got the, I'll tell you, he takes a licking and keeps on ticking. But overall, it was a mistake. Oh, one last thing, because there's not really that much to talk about anymore. But I love where Gordon does beat up McCloud, and then Batman is outside watching it. I wanted him to give the thumbs up.
That's the thing. Did you take it as Batman was actually watching him, or do you think he was just like, if the image of Batman was there, like he was present, like, of the mind?
When it says, and I don't think I'll have to do this alone. And if you see the panel that I'm talking about,
I saw the panel, like with him through the window in the rain and stuff like that. I feel like it was just like of the Gordon's mind knowing he has a partner.
I didn't even get that far. What happened is this, you have to look at the page, and I don't think I'll have to do it alone. I'm like, who's this Chadwick guy? I mean, maybe this guy's a stand-up because it's right under the panel. Oh, Batman out there. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's probably of the mind, but I still want him to be Fred Savage and give him the thumbs up.
Even in all this, I assume that Bruce is still at the manor and is hobnobbing, waiting for the Red Hood gang to show up.
Yeah, but then if you look, it's like Batman's kind of a broken mirror thing there. Maybe that's, foreshadowing, Eric. I don't know.
In 20 years, Gordon will become the Batman.
One of the things I like Bruce at the beginning when he's there hobnobbing as Bruce Wayne. And I got to see why my butler's not butlering. Like, in my mind, he's like saying that, and it's like he's trying to do the lingo and he's getting it wrong. But I do like when Gordon, when Alfred says to him, "So you're going to go downtown?" He's right. At least Chip Zdarsky realizes that Batman set up all of them to die if he leaves. And he says, "Listen, I would never leave anybody to die and go, to a beach and dress up like Magnum P.I. I'd never do that, Alfred. I'll never do it."
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, though I did like that scene. I thought that was pretty cool. But overall, Chip Zdarsky, I had defended him at points, saying, he's doing the Bat God because people don't like that. But
I do.
I know your play, and it almost has kept going. And in this, those wink winks almost was the multiverse deal. And when you jump through the multiverse and you just have, look, there's that Batman and that Batman. Like in this, it's like, look, there's the bag from Batman 89. But I don't need that. I wanted a story, and I wanted something that would prove to me we needed this year one. I didn't think we did. And I think I was vindicated, Eric. I was right on the money.
I'm just saying, somehow, the story that everybody hates, Geoff Johns, The Three Jokers, still is the top tier Three Jokers story.
What you say? It's gone now. That's the worst. That's the worst. Yeah, that's true. Your heart is so big. There's a lot of stories that can fit in there. Just crawl inside and do it. I said too, I figured by the end we were going to get an origin. We were going to, even a year one, we're going to get more ramped up with the thing. But at the end, it's always ambiguous. That's what always drives me. I would have liked ambiguous.
Well, just imagine this. If somebody was able to ask an omnipotent kind of question like Batman was able to do, what's the name of the Joker? There are three Jokers. If somebody had the same kind of thing, like who is Batman? Would it say there are two Batman because of Zur-En-Arrh?
Yeah, maybe. No. Yeah, because they do call Batman of Zur-En-Arrh. I thought you never can trust that Mobius chair. You didn't realize he's real big on the monkey pulse.
Yeah. Again, still lined up in my mind with four Jokers.
Next thing you're eating your own intestines and then shitting them out and eating them again, shit like that. It goes wrong.
But I'm rich. It's fine.
Well, that's true. All of a sudden, you're a basketball player, but you don't have a big penis. Stuff like that. Brandon Frazier.
Yeah.
It's weird, though. I really...
Was that Bedeviled? What was that called?
Yeah, I was going to say Bedazzled, but I think it's Bedeviled. I think, and that's a remake, too, but that's pretty good. What would you give this, though?
I would give this a 5.5 out of 10. I think the art is fine throughout. It's just the story pretty much feels like it goes nowhere and doesn't really add anything interesting to the 0 hour remake of a 0 year remake of Frank Miller's Year One Batman story.
Yeah. What does Sammy say about it? Should I give it? You just showed me that we wasted 3 weeks of doing nothing. And it did it at a point. Again, the whole thing, we didn't even say we usually do when we talk about this book, especially in this year one, that it's been disjointed. You end up Night Terrors with a K. I don't know if you know that. Also Gotham War. Now this, every time, and it seems like at points you're kind of like,
even
okay,
even the
next?
multiversal story threw me out, and then we had to wait through Night Terrors and then Gotham War to get back to the story, and now Joker Year One.
But what I saw as I was perusing out in the Wilderlands, is that most people, even people who were like, oh man, I didn't really love that multiverse shit, but yeah, you know what, the Gotham or that, but this failsafe, and then he does it again. Like I actually saw people finally getting excited about the book, and people were even arguing with me that I was too low on some of that, and we haven't had that in a while. And I'm like, oh man, why'd you do this? And then you do this, and it's nothing. It did nothing except maybe, like I said, get 3 issues in so you could get that 150, because I do think something's going to happen after Absolute Power.
Weird Science
is the revolution.